In this video, I'm going to show you how to download a new program that'll help you thin data, which will make it easier to import into FarmWorks. Create a new folder on your desktop, so that way you can save the software that we are going to download into this. I am going to name my folder Last Tools because that is the name of the program we are downloading. Now I'm going to open up a new web browser. Go to www.rapidlasso.com. At the top of the page, you will see a tab that says Last Tools. Underneath that, select Download. A pop-up should appear asking you where you would like to save this data. Select the folder you created in the beginning and click Save. Go to the desktop and open up your Last Tools folder. Within there, you should see the software that we just downloaded. You will notice that the file is zipped, so we'll have to right-click and extract the data like before. Once it's done, you will see a folder called Last Tools that is unzipped. Select that, and within there you will see more folders and files to choose from. The folder that we will need to use is the bin folder. Once selecting the bin folder, you will see all of the tools that Last Tools has to offer. The one we are looking for is called LastThin, which we'll find down near the bottom, seeing there in alphabetical order. Select it and open the program. First, I will go through thinning Iowa's data. After that, I will go through Minnesota's. Once the program is open, click Accept. On the left-hand side, you will see a Browse option. Click that. Now underneath, you will see a slash with 2 periods. That is equivalent to the back button. So we'll go back through the folders until we are able to find our LiDAR folder. So I'll scroll down until I find my LiDAR folder, and I will select that. Underneath the Browse window, you'll see it says .laz. We need to replace that with XYZI. So I'll go ahead and type that in. The reason we need to do that is if we go over to our LiDAR folder and look at the files we had previously downloaded, you'll see that is the file type that they are. So I'll go back over. So once I've typed that in, I'll click Add, and you'll notice they appear in the upper window. Now we'll go over to the right side to change a few things. The first thing we need to change is the selected file only should be selected. Underneath that, you will see the output option. There's a button on the left-hand side with 3 dots. That's going to be our output directory. So we're going to click the back button, open up into our LiDAR folder, and click Use Current. The next thing we need to do is we need to name the file. I'm going to name this file LiDAR1. You can name it after whatever field or farm you're in at the moment. The next thing we are going to change is the grid size. That is what helps shrink the file size. So rather than being 1, we are going to put in 5. After that, we are going to change keep from lowest to random. And then the next thing we need to do is we're going to change the format from LAZ to TXT. Go through and double check to make sure all of these things are correct. Now we are going to click Run, which will open up another window. Up there you will see the title name, so that's lidar1.txt, which is correct. Now we are going to click Start. It may take just a minute to process. Once that's done, you can go into your LiDAR folder, and there you will see your new text document. You will notice that the file size is much smaller than the one before. This will make it a lot easier to import into FarmWorks. So we'll go back over into our other window and select the second file. Make sure everything's the same on the left side. We'll go over to the right side, and the number one thing we need to remember to change on this side is the file name. I'm going to change it from LiDAR1 to LiDAR2. If we kept it at LiDAR1, it would just overwrite the data we just thinned before. By doing this, we are saving them as two separate files. Go through and double check to make sure that everything is still the same. Click Run again, and then go and click Start. You will notice that the title is now LiDAR 2. Now, if we go over into our LiDAR folder, you'll see both of the new text documents there. Both of these are shrunk in size and will be much easier to import into FarmWorks. Now, I'm just going to create a new folder. Say this is for one of your farmers, so then it'll be able to be more organized. So I'm just going to name this folder Test, and I'm going to drag all these files into that folder. And then say that farmer had multiple fields, we'll just say this is field 1, so I'll create another folder here. Name it field 1, and I'll drag all of these files into there. That way, if he has more than one field, it's easy to keep them organized. Now that your data is thinned, it will be easier to import into FarmWorks and make maps out of them. Next, I will go through thinning Minnesota's LiDAR data. So here, I already have the last tools downloaded, just like you should. So we'll go through, find our bin folder, just like before. And now we will go down until we find LASThin, which is the program we need to use. So we'll click on that and open that up. Up in the left-hand corner, you'll see an option that says Browse. So we'll select that. And the slash with the 2 periods is the same as the back button. So we'll go back a few pages until we can find our LiDAR folder. So I'll scroll down, and now I see my LiDAR folder, so I'll select that. Next, I will select my Minnesota folder, go into my test field, and there I will find my document. I'll make sure that is selected up top. Now for Iowa, where it says wildcard.laz, Iowa's is a little bit different. Over on the right hand side, we want to make sure that selected files only is selected. Underneath that, in output, we need to click that, and that button where there's the 3 dots, click on that, and it will bring you to the output directory. Click the back button, which is the dash with the 2 periods, go into the folder, which mine was test field, and then select use current. Another important thing to do is to name the file. I'm going to name this file mnlidar1. Underneath that, we need to change the grid size from 1 to 6 or 7 for Minnesota. Iowa's only has to be 5, but that's because it thins differently. So I will go ahead and insert 6 in there. Underneath that, where it says keep, I need to change that from lowest to random, and then from format from LAZ to text. So make sure all of those things are correct. And now I'll go ahead and click the Run button. Up above you can see that mnlidar.txt is the title. So I'll click Start. It'll take a little bit for it to process. Now that it's done, it'll be in our LiDAR folder. Say you had another tile that you needed to thin, you'd select it over on the left hand side, and on the right hand side it'd be very important that you renamed it so it didn't overwrite the data that you just thinned. So I'll go into my LiDAR folder here, I'll select Minnesota folder, go into test field, and there will be my LiDAR text document. You can see that the size of this is a lot smaller than the one that it was before. Now that you have thinned the data, it'll be easier to import into FarmWorks and create maps out of it.